Yo, what is good, YouTube? It's your boy Geek Samurai coming to you back with another video, man. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about Season 8, Episode 1, and it is talking about Winterfell. And this episode is so good, so good. Get to see my girl Dany coming back. Oh my gosh. Just to see her in Winterfell was amazing, yo. First, we see all the Unsullied marching, walking up to Winterfell. Then we see Arya. She's out there in Wintertown looking at the march. And we see Jon and Dany. And you see Arya locking eyes with Jon. And it was just a beautiful thing to see, man. Ugh. Such a beautiful thing to see. So the camera pans all the way up to them marching up into the castle of Winterfell. And as soon as you see Jon and Dany approach Winterfell, you see Sansa and the rest of the House Starks lined up. Just like Season 1, Episode 1, when Robert Baratheon approached Winterfell, and you have Ned Stark, Catelyn Stark, and all the Stark children all lined up waiting to greet King Robert and Cersei and Jaime. It was a beautiful sight to see, man. It was such a good callback. Then we see Jon, you know, he locked eyes on Bran. He could even hesitate to wait for that horse to stop. He jumped off that horse and he ran up to Bran. Bran, it's so good to see you. You're a man now. And then all Bran could say is almost, looking all robot-like and zombified-like. And then Jon goes and hugs Sansa. It's, you know, it's always a beautiful thing to see them hug each other, for me personally. And then Jon goes and turns and he signals for Dany to come over. So Dany comes over and you just see Sansa and Dany lock eyes, bruh. It looked like two cats, two felines were about to go at it, bruh. That's how tense that stare down was. And all Sansa could just say is, "Oh, Winterfell is yours, your grace." Enough said. Then they go into the Grey Hall. I like this scene because this is also, for me, it's a callback to Season 7, Episode 1, when Jon was telling the Karstarks and the Umbers, like, yo, you kids are the next generation of leaders and kings of y'all houses. I'm not going to take the houses from y'all. I'm going to give it back to y'all. I'm going to give you back your castle, your land, your oxen, your cattle, everything. Because your fathers, yes, they fought for the wrong side, which was Ramsay Bolton, but you kids shouldn't have to suffer for what your fathers did. And truth and behold, in Season 8, Episode 1, look who showed up in the Great Hall. You had Jon in the middle, you had Dany on one side, you had Sansa on the other, with Tyrion, because he's the Queen of the Hand, sitting at the end of the table with Dany. And as soon as Jon called on House Umber, there goes that same little boy from Season 7, Episode 1. He was there when Jon called him, and Jon's like, yo, how many men do you have? Are you guys ready to go? Is your army fully, are your army fully well fed? Are y'all ready to fight for me? And then House Umber, little boy Umber was like, yes, but we don't have enough horses, my lord. Jon's like, don't worry. Go back, get the rest of your horses, make sure they're well fed, and come back to Winterfell. We'll be waiting for y'all. That shows that Jon knew what he was doing. Let alone in Season 7, Episode 1, when Sansa was talking back at Jon and undermining him. Oh, nah. Jon knew what he was doing, and they were ready. They were so ready. And it was just good to see that, because Jon is not stupid in certain things. When it comes to military, being a strategist, Jon got that down packed. He may not have common sense with anything else, but let me tell you, this guy is smart when it comes to fighting and preparing and building an army. It's not just an alliance to Jon. He wants everybody to be together. He had to bend the knee, and he did. So Sansa's always going to hold that against him, but it don't matter. It don't matter. Anyways, I'm all about House Targaryen. As y'all can see, I got my Targaryen hat. You know what I'm saying? Game of Thrones. This hat came just in time for Season 8, Episode 1. So I had to come correct, bruh. Had to come correct, man. Anyway, the next scene I want to jump right into that I loved from this Episode 1 of Season 8. We get to the point where now Arya is reunited with Jon. This is a scene that I love, and it's something I've been waiting for from Season 1, Episode 1. Because Arya, when they left, Jon gave Arya that needle, and she's saying, make sure you point the pointy tip at and stab the man with the pointy tip. He was just teaching her how to use the needle, when the sword, before he left to go to the Night's Watch. And all of a sudden, you see Jon at the castle, and he's just brooding. He's just looking at the castle. All of a sudden, Arya sneaks up on him. He turned around and said, "Oh, shoot. I didn't know you could sneak up on me like that." And then they just locked eyes, and then they run. They were joking back and forth, and then they just run and hug each other. And Jon picked her up the same way he did in season 1, episode 1. He picked her up the same way, hugged her, and he just grabbed her tight and just didn't want to let go. Oh, man, that's the reunion I was waiting to see, bruh. I was waiting to see that. And then Jon looked down, and he said, "Oh, you kept Needle. You kept Needle all this time." She's like, "Yeah, of course." And he said, "Did you use it at all?" She said, "Yeah, once or twice." That was just amazing to see Jon, Arya, and Needle in the same scene. Oh my gosh. And there's been many times where she could have thrown that sword away, but she always went back. She hit it and always went back for it. I respect that. So then they're talking about Sansa between each other, and Jon is asking Arya, Arya was asking Jon, "Yo, Sansa does not like that queen anyway, does she?" And Jon is like, "Yeah, I know. It is what it is." So, Arya goes back and tells him, "Sansa is the smartest woman I ever met." Eventually, Dany and Sansa are going to have to figure it out. They are going to just have to come into an agreement. So, Jon is going to be the way he is, he's going to just be all nonchalant and just go with the flow. Hopefully they work it out in episode 2, but I think between Arya and Jon, they're gonna squash that beef, whatever that Sansa and Dany have. And it's not forced like in season 7 with Arya and Sansa. That was forced. We didn't need that. But in season 8, I think it's gonna be squashed by the next episode. So they're gonna come together, which I'm looking forward to. Anyway, the next scene I want to get into, that I want to talk about, that really was heartfelt for me, was when Dany and Jorah Mormont were looking for Samwell Tarly, and they finally found him too. He was in Winterfell's library, studying or just reading books. You know who Sam is. He's all geeked out like I am. I'm always a geeked out person, you know what I'm saying? Straight up, squad. Anyway, Sam is in the library. He didn't know who was coming in. As soon as he turned his head, he said, "Oh, I didn't know you were coming, my lady." He knew exactly who she was. And of course, he knew Jorah. Jorah told Dany that this is the man that saved me from that grayscale that I had. So Dany wanted to meet the man who saved Jorah. So Jorah introduced Sam to Dany. Dany introduced herself back to Sam. And then first thing that Sam says is like, "Oh, now that you're the queen now, could you pardon a couple of things that I've done wrong, a couple of sins that I've committed? I stole some books from the Citadel, and I have not yet returned them. But I needed to know how to mine dragonglass. I needed to know how to prime and build it. And can you pardon me from stealing my father's sword from the House Tarlys?" As soon as she said that, she said, "You're not related to Randall Tarly, are you?" And he said, "Yeah, that's my father." She said, "I gave him a chance to bend the knee, and he didn't do it. I'm the queen. You got to bend the knee when I requested. So I had to kill him up. I had to burn his ass." And you can see Sam, he's starting to get a little choked up. And then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, well, at least I can return home now. Now that my brother's the Lord of House Tarly, I'll be able to go home anytime I want." And she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Sam. He stood right by his father when I burned him." And you're going to see Sam just getting all choked up. And then now the waterworks, like the tears look like it's starting to come out. And he couldn't even speak anymore. And he's like, "Can I be excused? Can I be?" And she said, "Sure, of course." And he just walked out. You could see that he's sad and crying, but he's angry at the same time. But you can't be angry at her. She's the queen. And whatever she requests, whatever Dany requests, bruh, you better not say no. She is the queen, bruh. And in her mind, that Iron Throne belongs to her. Facts. So Samwell's walking out of, Winterfell's library, and he's going out into the courtyard. He goes down the steps and looks who he sees. Bran. It's like almost nighttime, and Bran is still out there. Like, "What the hell are you doing out there, bruh?" And he said, "Oh, I'm waiting for a long-time friend, a long-lost friend." And so after that, Bran's telling Sam, "Oh, now's the time now that you need to tell Jon who he really is, who his parents really are." And Sam is like, "I can't do that. I can't do that. You're his brother." "Nah, bruh." Bran is like, "No, I'm not his brother, and you know that. But you are like a brother to him. You're his best friend, and he trusts you. He believes everything that you tell him. So Sam's like, all right, I'll go do it. So now we see in the scene we see Jon in the crypts of Winterfell, lighting candles by his father's tomb, who he thinks is his father, Ned Stark. Good old honorable Ned. And all you can hear in the background is somebody falling down in the crypts of Winterfell, somebody falling, busting their ass, and it's good old Sam. Sam can't even walk straight. So Jon leaves the father's tomb, Ned's tomb, goes to see what the commotion's about. He bumps into Sam. Sam pulls him aside and said, oh, I wanted to come down here and tell you, did you know that Daenerys burned my father and burned my brother? Jon said, I'm sorry. He didn't say yes or no, but he said, I'm sorry that she did that, but she is the queen. And if you oppose her, stuff like that's going to happen. And then here comes Sam and said, well, did you know that your father is not Honorable Ned? Did you know that your mother is Lyanna Stark and that your father is Rhaegar Targaryen? Jon was speaking. He's like, no, are you serious? My father is the most honorable man I know. He'll never lie to me. He would never lie to me. Are you kidding me? And then Sam defended Ned. Sam was like, no, he didn't lie to you. He protected you. He sworn to your mother, Lyanna, that he was going to protect you at all costs. Because if King Robert knew who you were, he was going to kill you. So he's still honorable. Even though he lied, he's still honorable Ned. That's what it was. And Jon's speeches, he couldn't believe it. He's like, are you serious? I feel like in episode 2, they're going to show more proof of it. Maybe Jon's going to get a vision from Bran. This is my prediction. I don't know. Maybe Jon will believe Sam's word. Or maybe he's going to get more clarification from Bran. Bran's going to show him a vision at the Weirwood Tree or something. Either decision, whether Jon believes Sam or he gets a vision from Bran, I would love to see that. Because that's where it's at, bruh. So Jon couldn't believe it. He's just in shock. He's like, oh my gosh, this whole time I thought that I was a bastard. This whole time I thought I was unworthy. I'm worthy of the Iron Throne. I'm worthy of the 7 Kingdoms. Jon was speechless, bro. Speechless. And then after that scene, we get to see Tormund and we get to see Beric. They made it south. I don't know where Dolorous Edd came from with his men, but I guess they made it out of Castle Black. And they're all going to Winterfell. They're going back. They're not going beyond the wall. They're going south. And they meet up at one of the houses, which is the Umber's house. That was crazy. Now, in the Umber's house, they were looking for anything that looked like a creature with blue eyes or whatever. So they finally run into each other. Tormund and Dolorous Edd, they pound and dap each other up. Happy to see each other again. Then they go into the dungeons. And Beric got his, flaming sword and everything as like a nightlight or something. All they see is a boy crucified on the wall. That was the boy that Jon said, go back to your house. Get the rest of your men and your horses. The Night King got to that boy. And he crucified, I guess, the rest of that house. And he made like a symbol around the boy. And all you see is, like, the camera was like blurred out. And all you see is just the eyes turn blue. And the boy rose up. He became a white. And then Beric took his sword and just lit that boy on fire. And the symbol is just a message that the Night King is coming. That means Tormund, Dolorous Edd, Beric, and the rest of those men got to get down to Winterfell ASAP Rocky and go and prepare for the Night King, because he coming. We all knew that House Umber was going to fall. And Karstark is next. That redhead chick who's she's the lady of House Karstark, she's next. Because I guess House Umber and Karstark is on the same path to Winterfell. So those houses are going to get got, son. Facts. Y'all hear me, squad? It's going down. So the last scene I want to talk about, which was very emotional for me, that I enjoyed. Not just seeing Jon on the back of Dany, riding the dragons. That's another part that I loved. I loved seeing Jon on the dragons. And Dany's like, you can't even be with me if you can't ride a dragon along beside me. Jon's like, what if he bites me? What if he... Dany's like, don't worry about it. Get on that dragon. And the only way you're going to find out is if you get on a dragon. That's the only way you'll know. So Dany takes off with Drogon. I love that scene. That scene was magical. And you see Jon flying behind her. Rhaegal looks like he's finally warming up to Jon. Because Rhaegal, he could sense the blood of Targaryen in Jon. Jon got that. He got that Stark blood and he got that Targaryen blood. And they're flying over Winterfell and everything. And you just see Varys, you see Tyrion, you see Davos just looking up at Jon, flying on the back of Rhaegal. It was a beautiful scene because I've been waiting so long for Jon to ride on the back of the freaking dragon. I was waiting so long. And I'm still mad, besides the point, I'm still mad that we could not see Ghost. They made back to Winterfell. Where's Ghost? Where the hell is Ghost? Episode 2, we better see Ghost. And that is a fact. If we don't see Ghost, I'm a riot. I need to see my direwolf, bruh. I love that direwolf. He's loyal to the bone. Now, the last scene I want to talk about is where we see a hooded rider coming up to the gates of Winterfell. Now, I didn't know who it was at first, but I saw the gloves and I was like, yo, that's mother freaking Jaime. Those gloves, you can't miss them gloves because he only got one good arm. That's mother freaking Jaime. What the hell? So he rolls up to the gates of Winterfell and I guess he docks his horse, ties him up, gets off the horse. And he looks around, pulls the hood off. I'm back to good old Winterfell. Yeah, I remember this place. And as soon as he looked over a couple of places, the last spot that he looked at, he saw the wheel of a wheelchair. And look who was in that wheelchair waiting for him. Bran. It looked like Bran was waiting for him all night because it looked like it was daytime when Jaime rolled up. Bran is in the wheelchair waiting for this man. Waiting. They lock eyes and you could just see that tension. Jaime looked scared like he's seen a ghost. Bran's like, yeah, I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you, cocksucker. Yeah, we got to settle what happened when you pushed me off that wall. But here's the thing. I don't think Bran's going to be terrified or he's going to be mad. Not terrified, mad. I don't think he's going to be mad that he got pushed off of that wall by Jaime. I think he's going to quickly forgive him, and we need all the help that we can get to defeat the Night King. So let's just get past this. The same way Jon hugged Bran and Daenerys met Sansa in the beginning, all of a sudden, here comes Bran saying, we don't have time for these meet and greets. Night King is coming. Let's go. So that's my quick review of Season 8, Episode 1, guys. I'm still mad we didn't get Ghost, and I'm mad I didn't see Brienne of Tarth. Where the hell is she? She's supposed to be in Winterfell, too. All them times that they were in the Great Hall talking, they were in the courtyard, I did not see Brienne of Tarth. Well, I'm mad about that. So episode 2 of season 8, I need to see Ghost and Brienne, because now Jaime's going to be tried in front of all of the Northerners. And we need to see Brienne there to defend this guy. That he's on a road of redemption, that he's trying to do good, that he's here to be a man of his word and fight for the living. We need to see that because he's going to be persecuted and he's going to be tried. And Brienne is probably going to come through in season 8, episode 2. She's going to come through into that Great Hall and she's going to fight to save his life. Because I think Dany's going to attack him. Sansa's going to attack him. Maybe even Bran too. Because Bran's probably going to mention the fact that he got pushed out the window. Facts. Anyway, guys, I want to know what you guys think about this season 8, episode 1 premiere. It was epic for me. I enjoyed it from start to finish. I'm looking forward to episode 2. I'm looking forward for the rest of the season. Hopefully it won't end bittersweet, but most likely it will, because that's how George R.R. Martin does his thing. Anyway, guys, y'all leave your comments below. I will be checking it out. I will be liking them. Like, subscribe, and share Geek Samurai. Until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.